everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you a dragon themed design that's all done with Madam Glam products except for the 4D gel. But everything else, the background color and all of the inks is Madam Glam, and it's their new metallic ink collection that they released in January. And there's a lot of really rich tones, reds and oranges and like golden colors, and then this gorgeous green. And as soon as I was looking at them, I thought dragon. And there's even one of the colors is called the serpent. The green one is the serpent. So it just all seemed to be appropriate. And I love this dragon, and all the color from him is just done with the inks. Everything else is just black. So all the red color on the scales, the gradients, everything is just done with the inks, and it's amazing that they do work over black, because typically the different kinds of art inks only work over whites and pastels. So I love how well these work, and they're just so easy to use. And on the two nails, I just have the inks and I just played around with them, and it was just so much fun. There's one other thing I do want to mention though before you go, is that this Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is the Wisconsin time zone, we are going to be doing another live class. Are you excited, Melody? She's gonna be asleep. But we're gonna be doing another live class, and this one is going to be all about gel basics. So last month's was acrylic basics, and that is still up. If you missed it, you can go back and you can watch the whole thing. This month is going to be gel basics, gel polish like Madam Glam's, hard gel, 4D gel like we're using this video. We're gonna go over all sorts of gel information. So if you are, new to gel, you wanna get into gel, or if you're not an acrylic person, this is the class for you. If you wanna be part of my email list and get kind of a supply list and all the information ahead of time, send me an email to hotpinkzebrapolish@hotmail.com, and I will add you to the list, and you'll get on that and get all the information ahead of time. So I can't wait to see you guys there. And as far as this video goes, I love it. I hope you love it as much as I do. There'll be all the information in the description box below for the products I used, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
So these are the inks. They come in just the classic Madam Glam bottle, and they have kind of a little picture of what all the colors are on the front of them. They're all very rich tones, very warm colors, except for that green. And I actually love that that green is kind of, in a packed on its own, because it really stands out then. So we're going to begin by applying a coat of Perfect Black to all the nails, and then some no wipe top coat over the top of that. So just a nice solid black base. So now on the middle nail, this is going to be the one that has the dragon's head on it. We're going to roll it a long snake of 4D black gel, and we're just going to kind of press it into the general shape of our dragon's neck. It doesn't have to be perfect, and as you can see, I kind of pressed it out and gave it a different texture just from my glove. But now using a blade-shaped silicone tool, so it's got like a little knife end on it almost. We're going to kind of be cutting a line from where the front panel of the dragon's body is, where they have kind of like those, those sections that go across their belly, and just gonna cut those in. I like to say cut them in because that little thing reminds me of a knife. And then with a cone-shaped silicone tool, we're going to press in dot after dot on the back of the neck, and then all the way kind of like down the side and then up around the top, and give it sort of a very slight scale texture to it. So press all those in and then cure that. So now we're going to place down another blob of the 4D black gel, and that's going to be for our dragon's head. And so as you're kind of working in this shape, as you could see, I started out with sort of an egg shape with the black gel that I rolled on my gloves. I'm going to just use my cone-shaped silicone tool and just sort of work in the texture and the different shapes of my dragon's face and all of the facial features, eye area, nose, nostril, mouth, some spikes on the top of my dragon's head. And the great thing when you're working with 4D gel, if you aren't an acrylic person, but you definitely, you can tell that you have a knack for sculpting, but acrylic just doesn't work for you, because it's a pain in the butt. So if it's just not working for you and you've tried, 4D gel is a fabulous alternative. For one thing, you can work with it and play around with it until you're happy, because it isn't going to, get hard on you or do like a running thing. It's not going to blend out. It's not going to do anything. What you do to it, where you press it, where you push it, that's where it's going to stay until you cure it. And even after you cure it, until you move it again if you need to. So if you haven't had luck with acrylic and you want to try stuff, you want to be able to play around with it, 4D gel may be the way to go for you. So I've got all my dragon's little features carved in and sculpted in. I'm going to add some more little scaly bumps to my dragon's face. You may want to kind of over texturize your dragon so that it shows through later when you do add the art inks. So don't be afraid to add some really dramatic textures to this. Then after that was cured, I added my dragon's eye. And now using the color Serpent, I'm going to be adding just a touch of green to my dragon's eye, and then using the colors the Empress, Nectar of the Gods, Mahjong, and Good Fortune, which is going to be basically your oranges and kind of like the copper colors and the reds and the pinky one. We're going to be doing all of our colors on our dragon. And I kind of went through and I just sort of randomly grabbed each one, so there was a mix of the colors all across the dragon. I wasn't necessarily trying to do a gradient here, just kind of splotches of color here and there to make the dragon look very iridescent and give it kind of a different sheen. And then this is the yellowest color, which is kind of just going across the belly of my dragon. And now we're going to clean up the background where there did get to be some of that ink on it. We're going to clean that up with some more of the Perfect Black just to really sharpen the lines and make everything look really crisp and clean, and do anything that we need to do to fix that. And then after you have all that and you have that background, I'm going to take a little blender brush and I'm going to add just a tiny amount of shading with black over my dragon. So basically separating the belly area from the back on his neck area, and then a little bit of depth in his nostril and then around the face. And then you're also going to need to add the iris on the eye. So with a smaller brush for sure, instead of that bigger blendy one that I was using, just add a straight line across the middle. So now on the thumb, which is my favorite nail, I'm going to be starting out with Serpent and then Year of Glam. So Serpent is the green, Year of Glam is the gold. And I did just a rough eye shape with those two inks. And then using some clear Build in a Bottle, I'm going to be creating a little bit of depth to the eye, flipping that over so it has a nice dome shape, and then cleansing it just to get rid of the tackiness from the builder gel. And as you can see, there's still kind of that extra of the art ink around my eye shape. So I'm going to clean it up with some more Perfect Black and just sort of outline it so that it doesn't have any of that color where you don't want it. It's just, it has that color in the middle of the eye. And then add the pupil. Same thing, black gel polish right over the top. After that's cured, we can start doing all the details around our eye. So I'm going to roll out some snakes of that 4D gel and make them fairly thin and then line the eye with them. So you may not have really felt it was necessary to outline the eye to clean up the extra of the ink before doing this, since you're basically covering that up anyway. But I just figured that I might as well cover it up because you don't know what's going to show in the end, and you wouldn't necessarily want some of that green to accidentally show through your black dragon. And then I'm going to create the texture. So I'm using that little bladey silicone tool again, just to create some very simple texture going around the eye, almost as if these first shapes are kind of like eyelashes. They're not as much like scale in shape as they are just sort of a smooth texture like the eyelids of our dragon. So there's the next set of little eyelid pieces, another set of texture. Cure this because you want to continually cure everything after you're done with it. Once you're happy with a section, make sure that you do cure it, because if you don't, then all of a sudden you're going to mess it up just by touching it. But if you do cure it, then it's a safe bet. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to grab little bits of that, just like little balls of the 4D gel that I've pre-rolled that are just sitting next to me so I can quickly grab them. And I'm going to be sculpting in the texture of some scales going around my dragon. So I have one at the tip of the nail, and then I have some filling in the area above the eye that is left. Cure that and then do the next layer of ones at the tip. So don't try to do too many layers at a time. You want to make sure that you do cure or flash cure frequently so that you don't texturize something that you didn't want to texturize. So got to fill in the rest of that with our scales. After this has been fully cured, we're going to take the orange and the red toned inks, which is just about all of them besides the green and yellow we used. It's the other four. And we're going to add our color to our dragon's eye. Same thing as I did with the dragon body. I'm just kind of, grabbing colors and sort of splotching them on here and there wherever they fit in, and trying to make sure that they do kind of gently blend together so there's not different obvious sections of color, but just sort of flows from one to the next down the design. And then I'm going to add a bit of shading again with some more of the Perfect Black. You don't have to cure the inks, but you do want to make sure that they are fully dry before you go through and add the shading. So it's not long. It's 30 seconds, minute maybe tops. But just so that you don't blend or smear your inks when you are adding that shading. So now on the ring nail, we're going to be using that 4D gel to create our scales. So I'm doing the same basic thing as I did on the thumbnail at the tip. I'm doing one scale in the middle at the bottom. I'm going to flash cure that. So I actually have my flash cure flashlight out so that won't get messed up when I do the next layer. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the next one. So that's two more of those little balls of the black 4D gel. pat them out. This time I also did employ the help of a brush so that they were really nice and smooth, as you saw. And that actually works really well if you want to do that. You can use a gel brush that's clean, so it doesn't have any gel residue in it, and just a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on the brush, and just pat them out, and that will kind of remove the texture and give you a very smooth scale appearance. Every 2 rows, so in this case it was the single scale and then the 2 scales, so that would be 2 rows, I'm going to do a full cure. So for me, the full cure is a minute, but that depends on the brand of 4D gel you're using and the type of lamp you're using. So make sure you just refer to what your manufacturer recommends for that. But we're going to do a full cure of that 4D gel every other coat, or every other layer. So this next layer was the 3, and I'm going to just do the flash cure as you saw before I move on to the next layer, that's 4. And as you start getting up higher, since my nails are that almond shape, you can kind of increase a scale per layer as you're working up until you reach this kind of 4 threshold. And once you do that, as you can see, the nail doesn't widen as drastically as it does lower. So you're going to want to maybe do 4.5, then 5, and then at the cuticle area, which I'm now working on here, you're going to want to tone back your number and just sort of fill in. You don't need to worry about doing too many scales. You just kind of want them to interlock. So where you have the row before it, it's between 2 scales, if that hopefully makes some sense, so that the points aren't all in rows. They kind of stagger back and forth. So press those last couple scales out and fill this in all the way up to the top. Do a full cure to finalize it, and then use your inks to add your texture or your little metallic ombre over it, using Year of Glam at the cuticle area and ending with Year of Good Fortune. Or maybe it was just Good Fortune. Yeah. And now in the pinky and index nails, we're going to just be using some of those inks to create a simple smoky effect. I laid down 3 of the colors of inks and then used a damp brush that's got some isopropyl alcohol in it to kind of, sort of just manipulate the pattern a bit. Otherwise, you could also use Madam Glam's clear ink too, if you wanted to. But now I'm going to apply some matte top coat Madam Glam's Velvet over the pinky and the index nails, and then some glossy gel top coat over my dragon's eye. So that's the dragon eye on just the thumbnail where it's pretty much only the eye. And then carefully apply the glossy top coat over the background of my middle fingernail, so the little bit of black that's showing, and then over that dragon's eye as well. So I'm doing that part all with a small brush so that I don't flood anything, because you want it to be a very thin layer so it doesn't sort of take away from the 3D stuff that you worked so hard on. And now using a small shader brush dipped into the velvet matte top coat, I'm going to brush it onto the scales. So this is the scales on the thumb, the middle, and the ring nail. And the reason I say to use a brush, and preferably a short brush, so it's got stiff, short bristles, is because that's going to press the matte top coat into the texture, and it is not going to flood your texture. So this is a very small amount of top coat. I can't even stress that enough. Just enough that it actually is covering it, no more at all. And you're going to very carefully apply that over the top of the entire nail and pick up any extra if there is any left over. And then after all of that has been cured, these nails are done. As soon as that top coat hits the inks, they really come to life and they show up so much more than before they were top coated. So if you are playing around with these at home and you think, man, these just don't look as colorful, it might be because you just haven't gotten to the top coat stage yet. So just trust the process and know that in the end, these are going to be stunners. Oh my goodness, I love that eye. It looks so real and it was really so easy. So I hope you guys love this design as much as I do. And if you want to see Melody's nonchalant opinion, here's a Melody Minutes. All right, Melody, are you ready to see some nails I did?
Yeah. Where are they?
Are they dragons?
Yeah.
Do you like them?
Yeah. Dragon nails?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they dragon nails?
Aren't they pretty cool?
No.
As you can see, Melody really didn't have that much to say, even though I thought she'd be very excited, but I've learned you really just can't predict a toddler. So I hope you guys love it more than she did, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!